No, but ultimately, if you want to fight Canelo, you have to be a DAZN fighter. If you want to fight Joshua, you have to be a DAZN fighter. And this Saturday, 3 days' time, Demetrius Andrade goes for the world middleweight title. And in 10 days' time, in this room, Danny Jacobs goes for the world middleweight title. So in 10 days' time, touch wood, DAZN have the entire roster of middleweight world champions. So people like Charlo, you no fights for you. If you want to be a world middleweight champion, you better join DAZN ASAP.
Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, people. The old way of viewing boxing is over with. We are witnessing history in the making. We are watching the transformation of the sport of boxing, the sport that we all love. And Big Faces Worldwide, your boy Big Will is going to tell you all about it. Stay there. And we are back, people. Hey, listen, man. Recently, Canelo Alvarez inked a major deal alongside with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, man. If you have not heard, they have inked a deal with DAZN worth $365 million for a total of 11 fights over 5 years. This is the biggest, and I said this is the biggest sports deal in history. Not just the sport of boxing, but in history. You understand what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez is absolutely, no doubt about it, the biggest star in boxing. Floyd Mayweather, he surpassed Floyd Mayweather as being the biggest star in boxing, and I seen it coming. I did videos about this a couple months ago. I told you guys that, you know, the DAZN app, as far as in the ESPN app, these are the new way of doing things, man. It's 2018, man. These millennials, man, they're very smart. They're coming up with all type of ways to reach people all over the world, to bring different type of content to us, and this is just the way it's going to be. Now, the obstacles that I see for outlets such as the PBC and Showtime is that they have enormous pressure on them to make they're gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to make the best fights in order to compete with DAZN, to compete with ESPN Plus, to compete with these apps. You understand what I'm saying? Bob Arum, Big Shot Bob, he broke it down very good on why the emergence of Netflix, the emergence of Hulu and all these streaming apps. You know, everything is on an app. Everything is done over the internet now. You know, the old way of doing it, it's out the door. It's a wrap. Take a listen to what Big Shot Bobby had to say about concerning HBO and how Netflix and, you know, and how Showtime, you know, he thinks Showtime will be out of the business along with HBO within a 2-year span. Take a listen to Big Shot Bobby.
HBO is getting out of boxing, not because they don't see the merit in the sport, but boxing doesn't fit economically for an premium entertainment network like HBO. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, there was no Netflix. Now they're competing with Netflix, both HBO and Showtime. And so to be relevant, they have to take all their resources and put it into entertainment. And nobody has been better with showcasing entertainment than HBO. You go back to The Sopranos, Sex and the City. Now you have Succession, which to me is a great show. And what about Game of Thrones? So, and then not the series. You go to Bill Maher and John Oliver, and it's certainly worth the money. So they're in a different business, and they realize that. Showtime is still around in boxing, but in my opinion, that will last maybe 2 years.
Welcome back. Now, I have to agree with everything that he said, man. Everything he said makes sense. And, you know, Now, what's going to happen with Showtime, the fights that's going to be on Showtime, there's a couple different scenarios that's going to force PBC to do a lot of different things in order to compete with these guys, man. Because you heard at the beginning of the video, Eddie Hearn, he got Demetrius Andrade. He's fighting the African guy this Saturday. Now, should Demetrius win, that belt will be with DAZN. You already got Canelo Alvarez over there. He has two of the 4 belts. And should Danny Jacobs win next week with the fight between him and Sergey Derevchenko, then all 4 belts will be over there at DAZN, man. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for the PBC fighters to get fights, to get championship fights. If they want to be a champion at middleweight, they got to go and see these guys, man. And the only wiggle room that those guys will have, say like Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo is a WBC mandatory. Now, if the WBC go ahead and order that fight, and they force a purse bid somehow, some way, PBC wins it, I do believe that Canelo Alvarez will vacate that title. But with all the money that DAZN is throwing around, man, there's a high probability, a high chance that a lot of these PBC fighters will eventually move over to DAZN, or because Golden Boy is also they struck gold on this deal also, man. They got a 10-fight deal, 10 fight shows per year with DAZN also. And there's also a stipulation in the deal, like if they meet a certain amount of subscribers, they get even more. The pot gets even bigger once they meet certain subscription levels. So, man, it's an all-around good deal for those guys, man. Now what the PBC is going to have to do, there's a number of things that they're going to have to do in order to compete with them, man. Or like Bob Arum just said, man, Showtime is going to be dead in the water. Now, PBC, they're basically a management company. They manage these fighters. There's no promotional contract ties with these fighters. Now, PBC is going to have to use some of that money that they got from Showtime, some of that money that they got from Fox, and they're going to have to use guys like Lou DiBella and DiBella Entertainment and Ringstar with Richard Schaefer. They're going to have to back these guys with money so that these guys can sign these PBC fighters to their promotional companies. Otherwise, they will not be obligated to stay with PBC. PBC, there's a lot of fighters that's frustrated with PBC, and I can't blame them because they are not fighting, man. These are the prime years for some of them fighters. Say, take a Earl Spence, man. Earl Spence, he wants a fight. He's on social media every other day saying, he needs a fight. Gervonta Tank Davis, he's with Mayweather Promotions. He's a PBC fighter. He's saying that he need a fight. He went out of his contract, man. And these guys are going to have to do something to compensate these fighters, man. The Charlos have been real quiet, man. They got fights coming up in December, I do believe, man. But they're fighting for their lives right now, man. PBC is fighting for their lives right now. It's like a This whole thing is like a big movie. It's like like a fight, like a Rocky movie, man. Soon as you think DAZN, Eddie Hearn is on the ropes, man, and PBC is ready to get the victory, man. The Showtime is ready to wave their hands in the air. They come back out of the corner, man. They start throwing punches again. Now they got PBC and Showtime. They got them on the ropes again, man, because Canelo Alvarez alone, he brings so many fans to that DAZN app. You know what I mean? People thought that, the DAZN, like I told you guys before, I'm a boxing fan, man. I'm a boxing fan. A lot of people get caught up into, a lot of the promotional sides, a lot of the money side, like who's going where, who's doing what. You know, when people like myself and people like a lot of you watching, we just want to see the fights, man. You know, I'm not concerned of who's going where and why they're going there, and you know, I'm not trying to stir no narratives about, you know, like this guy the other night, man. I'm not even gonna mention his name. You know, he put out some false information, you know, stating that Terrence Crawford, you know, he got a big problem with the black media, you know, and the post that he made had nothing to do with black media at all. He was just talking about, you know, black people in general and the things that's going on, man. And you know, it's real sad to see that people with certain agendas, certain hate. And this person that I'm talking about, man, he got a certain hate for Terrence Crawford, man. I used to, you know, I used to watch his channel a little bit, man. But now it's just so sickening that, you know, I don't even watch it, man. You can watch this dude, and every time he talks about Terrence Crawford, you can just see the hate in his videos, man. He's upset that he didn't get an interview or something a couple years ago, man. And now he's got a vendetta against him, and he's trying to turn the black community against them, you know, and I don't like that, man. I'm not with that. I don't dig that, man. And there's a lot of other people, you know, on social media, even on YouTube, man, who try to create certain narratives to fit their own agendas. You know what I mean? They talk about certain fighters and certain promotional companies in certain ways that would make a lot of us, you know, a lot of people, you know, go along with them. It's like the blind leading the blind, man, because a lot of people come on to YouTube to find out what's going on. You know, a lot of them will not do the research to find out if what these guys are saying is true or not. You know what I mean? They're just going to go along with it because, you know, they believe in these guys. They believe in what they've been hearing. They've been watching them for a while. And they take what they say as law. And it's a shame that some of these people are abusing their platforms, man, and creating these false narratives. Like, sure, Eddie Hearn has done a lot of things within the last year that I don't agree with, you know, but that doesn't stop me from watching boxing. You know, that's not going to stop me. And Anthony Joshua, for instance, you know, he said a lot of things, and, you know, he didn't necessarily fall through with the things that people were saying. Yeah, it was upsetting to hear him say he want this money and then this and that, but we all do not know the circumstances behind why certain people make certain decisions, man. You got to look at Anthony Joshua, for instance. You know, he was a young kid coming out the Olympics, got started in boxing lately. This guy, Eddie Hearn, and his father, Barry Hearn, they believed in him. You know, they took him out of the Olympics. You know, they put money in his pocket. They groomed him. They promised him things. And I'm sure that, you know, the things that they promised him came to fruition. You know, everything that they told him, it happened for him, man. They changed this man's life around, you know, and the thing with the $50 million, I'm sure they had some type of influence to these guys, man, he had some type of influence. They had influence over him, and, you know, and we don't know what they promised him, and how he's looking at them. These guys changed his life, man. And sometimes, man, people, you know, no matter, there's not a dollar amount that you can put on loyalty, man. When people do things for you, man, sometimes you roll with those people regardless of what's on the other side, man. You know, it's not always about the money. It's not always about, you know, the grass is greener on the other side. We have seen time and time again that that's not the case, man. But yeah, man, that's just one example of just, you know, different things. Like we don't understand that, you know. And as fight fans, man, for real, it's none of our business. Yeah, we would like to know, but you know, I'm a fight fan. I want to see fights. You know, I want to come on here and talk about boxing, man. I want to talk about, you know, whether I think Terrence Crawford can beat Earl Spence, whether I think that, you know, Triple G should go after the rematch with Canelo. You know what I mean? Whether he signs with this promoter or that promoter, because I don't like this promoter, I don't like that. You know, that's all irrelevant to me. You know, I want to see the fights. I want to talk boxing. You know what I mean? We all get caught up, you know, as humans. You know, we all human. we all, we all got opinions. We're all biased in certain ways. That's just the way we was raised, man. We all was raised with certain biases. That's just us. That's just the human nature. You understand what I'm saying? So of course, some of us is gonna pull on this side, some of us gonna pull on that side. But man, you gotta find a middle ground. You gotta find a way to be grounded. And me myself on this channel, on Big Faces Worldwide, I'm gonna try to stay grounded, man, and keep it 100, keep it a buck onto what's going on in the sport of boxing. Yeah, I got my opinions, man. Yeah, I'm swayed by different things, man. But for the most part, I'm gonna try to keep it 100 with you, man, because I know how life is, man. I've been through a lot of things in my life, man. I've seen a lot of things, and and I know how the world works, man. Everything comes around. There's always a cycle. In life, things come back around. And when you're younger, you don't see it. You think everything's gonna be the same all the time, man. Like for instance, man, a young guy in the street, making money, this and that. He think that money's always gonna come. So he spends a lot of money, he blows the money, spends it because he think he's going to make it back. He think he's always going to be able to have that opportunity to make that money. And then all of a sudden, things change. The world changes every single day. Nothing changes. I mean, nothing stays the same. You understand what I'm saying? You got people, even on YouTube, you got certain channels, man, who I rock with, who I like, and I still like. I don't agree with everything they say, but sometimes I watch them and sometimes they got good information. But you got some guys who get to a certain status, like me, myself, I'm a small channel, you know what I'm saying? But you got some guys who get to a certain status, get to a certain amount of subscribers, and all of a sudden they get a false sense of bravado, man, that they running shit, that they create narrative, that they really control what a lot of boxing fans think. You know what I mean? And at certain times they do. There's a group of people who will follow these people, man, blindly, disagree along with everything they say. But then there's a real set of guys, man, rational guys, grown men on their GMB. GMB is grown man business, who's on their grown man shit, and they know how to interpret things their own way. They know how to make things up, to make their mind up for themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And and that's the type of guy that I always been. I always been a guy who, I don't go along with the crowd just because this group of people is doing things, man. I don't go along with what they're doing, man. I know, in federal prison, man, there's guys, there's a lot of, I'll just use the black guys for this instance. A lot of black guys, they in prison, man. They want to join a group. So the Muslims are a big thing in the black federal prisons. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys who don't have nobody, who don't have no money, they don't have nobody on the streets looking out for them, man. They're in there, they don't know nobody. In the federal prisons, you got people from all over the world, man. People from all over the world. You got different gangs, and a lot of these black people, man, in prisons, I'm not talking about, I'm not bashing on my people. I love my people. Black is beautiful all the time. And I'm just using this as an example. In prison, black people, some of them, they flock to the Muslims. They become Muslim. Not because they want to learn about the Quran, not because they want to get closer to Allah, but they do it to be a part of something, to be affiliated with something. And that's the same with a lot of guys on this YouTube thing, man. Like, I'm a small channel, man. I'm very, very small. I've only been doing this a few months, you know what I mean? In between me starting this, I got married. My mother passed away, so I wasn't able to be as consistent as I wanted to be. I'm very small, but at the same time, I'm not just going to set up a camera and take a video. No, I take pride in everything that I do, man. That's why I try to get different graphics, man. I try to do different things that's outside of the box, man, to capture your entertainment. you know what I mean, to capture your minds, you know what I mean, to just give you a different look than the average looking videos that you see on YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? So I invest a little more, you know, a little more time, because I take pride in everything that I'm doing. Even this, even me with my little itty bitty subscribers, I still take pride to what I'm doing, because I believe in myself. I know me. You understand what I'm saying? It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next year, but I do know that my channel will grow, because, you know, I'm a very, very genuine individual, man. And the people who come on here and watch Big Faces Worldwide, they'll be able to see that. They'll be able to separate the real from the fake, man. It's like, you know, it's like that old saying, man, the strong will survive. The weak was going to get weeded out, man. And whether I get 1 view on this video or 1,000 views on this video, I'm going to come back tomorrow or the next day and I'm going to make another video. Now back to boxing, man. I hate to get sidetracked, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit of things about me. You know, because I'm at work all day, man, and I'm you know, I'm getting these alerts about, you know, Canelo signing with DAZN and everything, and I couldn't wait to get home and drop a video, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm a working man, man. You know, I did a lot of dumb shit when I was younger, man, but, you know, I'm so far removed from that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm a carpenter by trade, man. I'm a union carpenter. I go to work. I work hard every day, man. And I love to come home and talk boxing on the side, man. I've been around boxing all my life, man. My family loves boxing, man. My grandfather, Willie the Penguin, he was a boxer, man. You know, there's plenty of stories I could tell you about him, man. So boxing has been in my life for my whole life, and I enjoy talking about it, and I do this for fun. Like I said, I'm a small channel. I don't get nothing out of this. I'm not getting a penny or a dollar from you clicking this video, liking this video, or nothing. I just want to come on here and kick it. It's a hobby. It's something that I enjoy, man, and I'm going to keep on doing it, man. I'm going to keep on doing it until I decide that I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it no more. There's some days I get discouraged. Some days I'm like, damn, man, I put all this work and energy into this video, man. I only got 20 views. You know, that's just discouraging sometimes, man. But I know me. I'm really, really really know my capabilities, man, and I know what I'm about, man. I have a lot of confidence in what I'm able to do, and I'm sure over time, like I said, it may not be this year, it may not be next week, you know, but in time, my channel will grow and I will reach the people who I want to reach, and my platform will be the platform that I intended it to be, man. Now, back to boxing. This news with Canelo Alvarez is going to shake up the game. It's going to shake up the game because, you know, like Eddie Hearn said, man, if you're a middleweight and you want to fight for a middleweight title, you got to go to DAZN. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of those PBC fighters, you know, as much as I love the fighters at PBC, as much as I love the things that Al Heyman and Sam Watson and those guys have done for the fighters at PBC, Showtime has been putting on tremendous, great shows. You know, there's no denying that, man. But, you know, those fighters are not fighting how we want to see them fight, man. They're not fighting each other, you know. But this move that they just did with DAZN is going to force the PBC and Showtime to make these guys fight each other. Because if not, and they're going to have to pay them. Because if not, they're going to move on. They're not, like I said, they're not promotionally signed. They don't have a promotional deal with the PBC. You know, like I said a little while ago, man, they're going to have to put some money behind Lou DiBella and DiBella Entertainment, behind Richard Schaefer and Ringstar, you know, maybe to sign up some of these major fighters, man, because PBC has a lot of talent. They have the most talent in boxing right now. That's without a doubt. You know what I mean? That is without a doubt. There's no question about it. But these guys are complaining because they're not fighting enough. And sure, they're getting paid. Like, you're getting paid. Say they're getting paid more than they ever got paid. You know, they might get 1, 2, 3 million for a fight. But if you're only fighting once a year, what good is that going to do? You know what I mean? What good is that going to do? And these guys are fighting 2 and 3 times a year, getting that same amount. So that same $3 million that you got for one fight, these guys are making 6, 7, 8 million or even more for fighting 3 times a year. And not only that, they're getting exposure. People are watching them more, and different, you know, they're reaching different audiences, different viewers, man. And people are starting to like them and starting to know who they are, knowing their names. Like, I got a group of friends, man. And I asked one guy. I said, who's your favorite boxer right now? He looked at me. He said Floyd Mayweather. I said Floyd Mayweather ain't boxing no more. Who's your favorite boxer right now? Who's the most well-known boxer that you can name of? He sit there and thought a few minutes. And you know what he said to me? He said Adrian Broner. You know, Adrian Broner, you know, he's been in the news so much, man, that people that casual boxing fans, they really don't know what's going on in a sport of boxing. All they know is what they see on a major outlet. So if the major outlet is talking about this and talking about that, that's what they're going to run with, man. And it's our job. You know, it's our job as the YouTuber community, you know, who come on here every day and post videos, man, to inform these people of what's really going on, man, and not try to steer the narrative in a certain way, you know, just to fit your agenda. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not bashing nobody, man. I have no problem with nobody on YouTube, man. Like I said, there's a lot of channels I rock with, man. I rock with a lot of the dudes in the LDBC, man. I love a lot of those guys. I like what they're doing. But there's also a lot of those guys who I can't stand to listen to. You understand what I'm saying? I rock with the guys from the UK, man. I watch these guys, man. I like what some of those guys is doing. The Sean Newton, like, you know, I like what some of them dudes is doing, man. Hat man, like there's different people who I take different things from. Do I agree with everything they say? Hell no. Hell no. But some things that they're saying is good information. Some things that they're saying is spot on. Some shit is dead wrong. I don't agree with them. You know, it makes me sick. You know what I mean? But, you know, as a boxing fan, I want to know what's going on. I want to hear what they got to say. You understand what I'm saying? And shout out to all the guys who come on here every day, man, and put their time into this, because, you know, even in my short time doing this, I could see that it's stressful. I could see that, you know, it's not easy doing this, man. But the sport of boxing is changing. It's 2018, man, and the world is changing along with it. And, you know, we got to get up to speed, man. We got to get up to speed and just get back to enjoying the sport. Yeah, a lot of these guys, they're not fighting each other, you know, but there's nothing we can do about that. Ain't no sense of coming on here and just letting out our frustrations about, you know, being all upset and talking about this guy and talking about that and, you know, bashing these fighters, you know what I mean? There's nothing we can do about it. They want to make as much money as they can. Sometimes I don't agree with it, you know, but, you know, it's how they feed their family. You understand what I'm saying? It's how they feed their family, and they want to make boxing's not forever. They know their bodies break down, they get older. So these opportunities is not going to be there forever. So what these guys are doing is trying to make the best out of what they're doing. You know what I mean? The best while they can, because they know it's not going to be there forever. And I can't knock them for that, man. Do I get upset with it because I'm not seeing the fights? Of course I do. Of course I do. But you got to play the devil's advocate, and you got to understand why they're doing it. Like Sean Porter, man. I don't like the way Sean Porter's talking, man. I don't like it. You know, he said he wanted to fight Earl Spence. His dad got up there and said Earl Spence is next, this and that. Then I listened to a video, interview with him the other day with a UK guy, you know, and he's telling him, oh, I forgot about my mandatories, though. Yeah, I said that, but I forgot about my mandatories. How you gonna forget about your mandatories? You sound crazy, man. You know, and it's a shame that these dudes won't get in the ring. They're so terrified of this dude, Earl Spence, man, that it's sickening. It's sickening, man. It's sickening that this guy might have to jump up to weight class, you know, to fight somebody real, man. It's sickening that, you know, nobody in a 147-pound division worth of any type of revenue for him or any type of exposure for him wants to fight him. You know, I was looking at Twitter, you know, Luis Collazo, you know, he's talking trash with Earl Spence. Yeah, because he want that bag now. You know, Earl Spence told him, before I had the title, you know, you don't want to fight me. Even after you fought Keith Thurman, I wanted to fight you. You don't want to fight me, you know, because he knew it was a dangerous fight. Now, Collazo is on his way out, you know what I mean? And he knows his clock is winding down, you know. Now he know that fighting Earl Spence, you know, not only did you get an opportunity at the IBF strap, but you get the bag with it, you know what I mean? And now he's calling Earl Spence out as if, you know, like I said, I'm never going to call a fighter a bum, you know what I mean? But there are different levels into this fight game, you know, and I don't think Luis Collazo has a chance of beating Earl Spence, and I don't believe that he thinks he has a chance of beating Earl Spence, man. You know, you got to put things in perspective. You got to be rational about things, and you got to understand how the world works. You got to understand how life works, man. People get things misconstrued sometimes, man. They get in their feelings. They put too much emotions into things that really don't pertain to them, you know, as fight fans, you know. As a fight fan, my job is to watch fights. You know, to watch fights and enjoy fights. That's why when a lot of the channels that, you know, I frequent, a lot of channels that I rock with, you know, they were boycotting the zone. That don't do this and don't do that. Me, I make my own mind up, man. I say I love boxing, man. I'm gonna check this thing out, you know. And I went on there. I had no issues with it so far. Everything is crisp and clean. You know, the ESPN Plus app, no issues with it, man. I'm watching fights from years ago, man, that I never had a chance to watch, man. Watching Joe Louis fight the German guy, the second fight. Oh, that was a hell of a fight, man. Watching things that, you know, on these apps that I normally wouldn't have access to, you know, but I'm enjoying it. And like I said, man, it's 2018. The world's changing. Everything, most things are done over the internet. Just think, if you leave home without I left home last week and I forgot my cell phone. I got all the way to the job site. I forgot my phone. I had to come back home and get my phone. That's how important, you know, that's how important this thing has become to me. Now, a lot of people might say I'm, you know, whatever you want to say, but that's important how, you know, the internet has become, man. There's a lot of things that I keep on my phone, a lot of things that I do on my phone, and you know, it's just the way of the world. It's 2018, man. These millennials, they are so smart. They are coming up with different things, man, and they are coming up with different ways to reach viewers. And these apps is where it's at now. And that's it. You either get on the bus or you get left behind. You know, that's all I got for now. I'm Big Will. You've been watching Big Faces Worldwide. I appreciate you all for watching this, man. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I know I went off the subject a little bit, but hey, man, things are changing. The sport of boxing is changing. It's transforming right in front of our eyes, and we all are part of this, man. I did videos a couple months back when I told you that this is the new way of doing things. This is the new way of doing things. This streaming things is the new way of doing things. I'm Big Will. This is Big Faces Worldwide. Thank you for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe now. Like, comment, and share. Peace out.